guys, it's Nancy. I'll try to clear some of the clutter away before I show off. I've got a flip through of this journal. I finally finished it. It's taken me forever. Some of the things in here you saw as tutorials. So this is a, oh, I should measure it. I don't have my seeing glasses on, so that'll make a problem. So it's 9 by 6. It's a 2-inch spine. It's a hollow back curved spine with 6 signatures. The spine, I've added some lace and some cheesecloth. Why do I always struggle with that? On both top and bottom. The spine I've covered with Tim Holtz fabric. And for a closure, this is a crushed velvet ribbon that I've got wrapped around there a couple of times. So let's just flip through. So here I made this pocket. And this is Latin, and it means the word is constant, everlasting, something like that. And there's a little book plate sewn in there. And this is a little booklet that I made with some coffee dyed papers, or tea dyed papers actually. And the cover was made from the cover of a vintage stamp album. There is a tutorial for that on my channel. These papers, I stenciled some ink on there, and these were using an old cardboard stencil that I got at a thrift store or something. This is a coffee dyed net curtain that I layered up a couple strips and stitched on. This is oh, I should back up. Okay. The theme of this one is reading and libraries. So this is just a little tuck spot of an image that I cut out of a book. The little postage stamps that I made, they are also images from a book that I made a tutorial on how I made these particular postage stamps, faux postage stamps, and I've used them as tabs in the book. So there's a different author on each side. Here is a library pocket that I made out of book page. I posted the video of the tutorial yesterday on how to do this. And inside is a due date slip of paper, and this is a catalog card. So this is real ephemera that I've tucked in there. And so this is just a little piece of note paper. This is a pocket that I made out of postage stamps, and on this postage stamp it's a commemorative of Emily Dickinson, and this is a flashcard. It says read. On the back it says your, but of course it was the read that I like the best. So I made a little pull tab using postage stamps, layered it up on a little bit of lace there and stitched around it. There's a lot of writing space. I imagine somebody might want to, keep their book club notes in it, or keep track of the books they're reading, or write a list of books they want to read. This is a little altered paper clip that I made using a postage stamp that has Willa Cather on it. Just tucks there. Hope the light is good enough for this. It's just a single page. I put envelopes in three of the six signatures, and in each envelope I've put an image of a woman reading. I stitched it to file folder and put a little stencil on there. It's very light, so you can still write on these tags. And then I stitched on some lace and a button. and it just slips in the envelope. This is a little glassine bag that I made. Add a little bit of vintage trim to it, and again, this is a image of a woman reading. Here's the back of that first envelope. I've got the wrong glasses on. I can't see far. Getting old. Here's another library pocket that I made. This one I embellished it a little differently. So before I created it, I glued a little paper doily on there that I coffee dyed a long time ago. Then I stitched around it, glued it together, and added this fussy cut image. Inside there's a page from a diary, you know, a date book, and there's also this page from a office memo. It says, "Don't say it, write it." We're on the second signature now, and here's another faux postage stamp. So the books that I used to make these pages, I used an Asian, I don't know if it was Chinese, Korean, I don't know, an Asian book, a vintage stamp album. This is a vintage book. I think it was like a secretarial book about writing. I think this was 1920s-ish. Then there's ledger paper, note paper. This is from a correspondence, or sorry, a calligraphy how-to book. And this is line paper that's been coffee dyed. The fold of the actual paper was here, so I put strips of book page on top and stitched it just to reinforce it so it wouldn't, you know, tear off at that fold mark. And I think it turned out good. I like it. There's also I think maybe 2 or 3 pages of this bird book. We must be in the third signature now, I guess. This is a piece of scrapbook paper, but I put it in the center, and you can actually fold it down, so there's lots of space to write. And this is a library postcard from the Rare Book and Manuscript Library at Yale. Isn't that really, really amazing? Look at all those books. I thought a book lover would like to have a look at that. Here's another library pocket that I made, and this one has a tag that I coffee dyed and baked on like a drying rack, a cookie rack maybe. No, not a cookie rack, but some kind of a rack anyway, to have got that crosshatch. And this is a library card. This is an actual postage stamp, and I think it's Russian. But I thought that was nice. And I used the page from that to make the pocket. I used that secretarial book, so it looks like a letter's written on there. Or no, it was actually a resume. In the resume, she's listed her age as 23. Here's a corner tuck that I made, and so I've tucked a little tag in there. Here's another image of a woman reading a book. And there's a little fussy cut image of a letter and a quill. And this is, I think this was some kind of wrapping paper or something. I don't know. It's heavy, but I know it was not scrapbook paper because it was a huge piece of paper. And I just glued a little fussy cut of a book there. Here's another one of our faux postage stamps. Lots of space for writing or gluing in lists. Here's another corner tuck. This one, instead of ribbon or lace, I just tied a little piece of coffee dyed cheesecloth. Why do I struggle with that word so much? Put a little collage here. And again, another tag of a woman reading. This is a little corner tuck that I made using stamps, commemorative stamps of Horatio Alger, who's another American author. And I just put in, I thought this orange tag really matched nicely. And this is another tag. This one I baked on, I believe it was a pizza pan, so that's how come it has those circles. I'm not sure if that's, yeah, that's showing up okay, isn't it? And I stitched a little feather on there to represent a quill. This is a pocket that it has just two tags. This one's collaged and stitched, and this one's just plain craft one. I chose this one because it has sort of the pinky orangey colors in it that I've got repeated in the book several places. And this opens and there's nothing in it, although you could absolutely have something handy to shove in there. So you could put a note in there or anything. And actually the brads that I used to make this are vintage. They're old vintage brass brads, so they're not perfectly round. I really like them. Another woman reading. A mother reading with her children. Here's a little collage I made. This is an image of a nib of a pen. And this is, do you remember these? This is the kind of thing they used when, well, the last date is 91, so that's nearly 30 years ago. But there's a blank space on the back for journaling. Those were the days. Here's another pocket. I won't open this one up, but I put this image of a Victorian scrapbook on it. So I made this little tag. It has a book on it, and sewed it onto coffee dyed paper, or sorry, no, file folder, and did a little stenciling on there. So that's a nice little journal card there. But I just thought, you know, kind of matched. There's William Shakespeare. I just love this old book. You know, sometimes book pages are, you know, really brittle, and if you fold them. This one is so creamy and so smooth, and this is the book page that I used to make the envelopes and the pockets. So it didn't, gosh, now I can't find a pocket. Oh, no. This pocket. This is the oh, I'm making a lie of myself. I definitely used this paper to make the corner tucks and the library envelopes, and it's just so nice and thick and creamy and smooth. This is another corner tuck with an image of a collage made with an image of books and a little tag. This tag I did a little differently, so I put two eyelets there and ran this lace that's threaded with orange ribbon, and I used the orange ribbon to sort of match with the flowers and her bodice and her hair. And this is just a little pair of reading glasses on a bulb pin there. And the last thing is this pocket that you can tuck things in. So this is a collage that I made of the backs of security envelopes, put on this cancellation, and then stamped over it with some script stamp. And this is a cutout from a book of a lady's hand and rose. So you can stick anything in there you like. And that is the end of this journal. So I will be posting this on my Etsy. If this is a journal that you're interested in purchasing, go and check my Etsy now. And it's a big book. It's not dense yet, so there's lots of room for journaling and adding things. The ribbon wraps around twice, but as you know, it gets thicker, you could either remove the ribbon or just wrap it around once and cut it down a bit or something. You can move things around. You know, if you don't want that tag there, you can put another tag. I'm really happy with this. It was definitely a work of heart. I really put a lot of thought and effort into this book to make it just right. So I hope you enjoy it and maybe got some ideas for a book that you're working on. And if you do, I hope you'll post images and tag me in it so that I can see how I maybe inspired you. Although absolutely I've been inspired by so many other junk journal artists. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this tutorial, or sorry, this flip through. Oh my goodness. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you are not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. I'm setting a goal for myself over the next week to get my subscriptions up to 2,000. If you are a subscriber, I hope that you will share this video with a crafty friend who might be interested in the kinds of things that I do. Thanks so much.